Am I the asshole for not caring that my ex-husband is dead? My ex-husband and I separated 3 years ago and have 4 children together. We split after he cheated with a coworker while I was having a brain aneurysm surgery. Both marriages split and they moved to the other side of the country where he ignored our children and didn't bother to pay child support. On or about the 3rd anniversary of us leaving, he unalived himself. His affair partner / wife didn't bother to let us know, and it was over a week before we heard. Even though he was a shitty husband and father, I feel so guilty that I'm not sad and only think of him being an effing coward. His parents told our oldest that he, quote, couldn't take being away from you and your brothers anymore, unquote, and then bluntly told her his manner of unaliving himself when she was trying to find out what happened. We were originally told a different cause of death from rumors my family heard in our hometown, and they didn't tell us what had happened beforehand. Am I the asshole for not caring about his death and just being mad at him and his family? ETA, not in the USA, Australian. Older sons have fortnightly telehealth psychology sessions already due to disabilities. Trying to find a face-to-face psychologist for the 6-year-olds, and my daughter, the eldest, has agreed to grief counseling. Between the comments from her grandfather and stepbrother, she's having a rough time. Thanks to everyone who has taken the time to reassure me. It's meant a lot. I guess I never really expected to not cry over him. I did love him once upon a time, or I loved who I thought that he was. Everyone handles grief differently, and also I think that a complex situation like this can be really hard to handle, along with grief and guilt and things that you may have felt. Also, I do think that it's really crazy that his parents told your child that, because that makes them probably feel like they are to blame, when in reality it's his fault that he wasn't with your children. And that's definitely, I would say, probably not the reason, because if he really cared about being with your children, he wouldn't have moved across the country. He would have stayed put so that he could be in his children's lives. And I feel like the parents are probably making that up to make them feel like he was a good person and that he was someone that he really wasn't. But I don't think that they know the true him. And I think that it's totally okay to feel that way, honestly, especially with everything that he has put you through. Editors know OP has made a lot of responses to the original post. I'm listing the top common questions asked. Someone said, not the asshole. He did you and your kids dirty. You'd be the asshole if you started dancing or encouraged your kids to celebrate his death. But on the bright side, his death means your kids should be eligible for Social Security death benefits, so you guys will be better off financially. But F your mother-in-law for telling your kids their daddy unalived himself because he missed them. BS. If he missed them, he doubtlessly knew your number to call them. His mommy probably would have pulled the money out of her ass or somehow found a way to get her boy back home if he really wanted it. He unalived himself because of his own reasons, and to even vaguely suggest that it was over the kids makes her absolute trash. I agree. Opie said, not in the U.S., so I just miss out on the child support he sometimes paid, hoping I might recover some of the thousands he was behind through probate. This person said other countries have similar benefits, or his estate may be liable for support. If you're in the UK and he didn't leave a will, the rules of intestacy apply, and the kids may be automatic beneficiaries. Girl, too many words that I do not understand, but yoikities. Also, I have no idea how it even works in the USA when someone passes away, so can't help you there. Okay, this is a little post that says, can you sue an estate or estate administrator for child support? 1.5 months later. My ex dodged child support by not filing taxes for multiple years. He unalived himself, and now the final figure owed is over $44,000. And I don't think anyone is going to voluntarily from the estate as child support says it will be. Are there any other options? Can I file a claim against the beneficiary of the estate? Very sick of being ripped off by him, even in death. People that don't file taxes, how do you sleep at night? And I'm not saying you're a bad person for that. I'm just saying, how do you do that anxiety free? Girl, I think that the IRS is going to come for me if I'm $5 off of my income. I literally be overestimating my income sometimes because I'm like, girl, please don't come for me. If you come for me, which they have many a bigger fish to fry with like the billionaires and millionaires that probably do so much tax fraud, but they can just get away with it because they're rich and are powerful. But like, God forbid they end up fucking coming to my house and knocking on my door and they're like, hey, there's no way that they would possibly do that because I literally am always, well, I use an accountant. I have an accountant that does all my taxes. So is that like, she's really good, at least from what I can tell. But like, say that my accountant were to file my taxes like incorrectly. Like she did all the things right, but she said that maybe I made a little bit less. Would that be on me? Would I get arrested for that? Because that's kind of crazy. I feel like that's probably the case. Like I feel like that would fall on me even if she were the one doing it. And that makes me so scared because I'm like, girl, you better be fucking doing this shit right. I will sue her. No, I'm just kidding. I'm if you're listening, I'm just kidding. I would not sue you. I love you. She's been doing my taxes since literally 2019, probably 2020, actually, I would say, when I graduated college and I first started working because I've been self-employed since. And she's been the best thing to ever happen to me. Like, I literally could not do it without her. Okay, here's an update, February 10th, 3 months later from the last post. I posted a few months ago about finding out after a week and a half that my ex-husband and father of my 4 children unalived himself. We had been speaking with his younger brother who wanted to see the kids and be a part of their lives again. I'd been sending him recent photos and messages and Facebook, Google photo memories of better times with his brother and the kids. I had not heard from him in a while. He often didn't have phone credit to message me back. When I saw his father's Facebook profile come up as a friend suggestion on my alt account, they're blocked on my main, and his memorial tattoo for my ex-husband now has his brother's name added. I'm not sure when he went or how, but the image on the tattoo is our men's mental health symbol, so I'm guessing it was also unaliving. I just don't know whether I should try and contact the family to at least get the confirmation for my kids and check on their final uncle, who was the depressed and unaliving brother in the past, ? The last remaining uncle was always the best in their family, and I'm honestly worried about him. No one deserves to lose 2 children, and my kids are their grandfather's only grandchildren. Grandmother alienated their half-uncle to go no contact, and they didn't see his kids. They are monsters, but now I feel bad for keeping the only grandkids they will have away with all of their loss. Am I the asshole for not forgiving their behavior and keeping the kids away? I know they will probably return to favoring my daughter. She didn't have the neurodivergent disabilities diagnosed that they disapproved of in my sons, but does now. But I still feel like crap because of what they have gone through and lost in concern for their remaining son. Or would I be the bigger asshole for allowing them access to my kids? At this point, I just don't know. I don't think that you should do anything out of guilt, to be honest. Like, I always feel like if you're doing something out of guilt, then it's not that it's like malicious or anything, but I don't think that is like a good reason to do something. And I think that if you still think that they would be a disservice to your children and they wouldn't be good to have in your children's lives and you're only doing it for their benefit and not for yours or your children's lives, then I probably wouldn't do that, especially if they haven't changed and they're still like shitty people and monsters. If they're monsters, girl, please. Oh, please. Don't be getting them back in their lives. But recently I've been dealing with like people that have this family member and they are keeping them in their lives because they feel guilty for not, because the family member doesn't have anyone, but the family member is a narcissist, manipulative, terrible person who only cares about themselves, and a relationship with them is literally them just talking at you like you're a brick wall. Like it's not a back and forth relationship. It's honestly the strangest thing in the world, like, to have a relationship with this person, and like they are keeping the relationship out of guilt, which I just think, but they like don't like spending time with him. They force themselves to spend time with him because they feel bad and stuff. And I'm just like, I just don't think that's the right thing to do. I think if you feel like, and I get it, like cutting a family member off is very sad and it's hard to do. And I'm not saying you have to do this at all. Like if you feel like you want to keep a relationship with someone, even though it's for the wrong reasons, just because you feel guilty or you feel bad, even though they're not a good person and the relationship is not mutually beneficial whatsoever, and if anything it's more harmful to you and beneficial to them, like a literal parasitic relationship. You can do what you want, but if you were to come to me and be like, hey, I want to cut them off but I feel bad, I would say that's very valid. And I don't think that I think that if you didn't feel bad for a little bit, like, I mean, it depends who it is, but of course you're going to feel bad. Like, that's normal. And it takes a while to end up being okay with that. But I do feel like that it's so unnecessary to keep someone in your life that just destroys you. Like, it's not worth it, in my opinion. And I think that it's okay to cut off people that are not good people to you and to people that you love. Because what's the point in having a relationship with someone that literally just cares about themselves? And I'm not kidding when I say narcissist. I know that's a buzzword and it's a popular word used in this day and age, but if you guys were to meet this person, they are the narcissist of all narcissists. Like, they should genuinely be fully diagnosed with narcissism personality disorder, because if I have ever seen a narcissist, he is that. He is all things, like the epitome. But anyways, the top comment says, those in-laws should never be allowed near children again. I'm not saying they caused both of their sons to do what they did, but the father-in-law and mother-in-law certainly weren't helping anyone with how they acted. It's absolutely wild to me how long some people get away with not paying child support and the lengths they go to avoid paying. This person said, I'm also in Australia. My aunt and uncle divorced after he tried to kill her and my cousins. To get out of child support, he doesn't work. He just lives off rental income and then tells the state he earns under the threshold. He even had the gall in court to demand his ex-wife pay him child support, the same ex-wife he tried to murder, even though he's not allowed to see the kids due to restraining orders. That's fucking holy shit. Holy shit, that's really crazy. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.